is the director of the Institute of Herbal Medicine, National Institutes of Health, University of the Philippines, Manila, to enlighten us on adjunct or junk therapies in pediatric infectious diseases. May I call on Dr. Cecil Maramba Lazarte.
Magandang umaga po sa inyong lahat. Good morning. Pinakain ba kayo? Ang hina naman ang sagot. It's a tough act to follow. I have to follow my boss, Dr. Eva. So, I'm going to talk about my other advocacy. Kung hindi niyo ako nakikita for some time, at medyo prodigal daughter ako dito sa PIDSP, it's because I've been busy with other things, and I am happy that they have invited me to talk on this topic, which is also very close to my heart. And my, of course, disclosure here is that I am the director of the Institute of Herbal Medicine, and we do studies on this particular area. So this is what we'll be talking about, no? Some definitions, and I know there are also a lot of misconceptions about herbal medicine, so we'll be talking about that. And what we want to emphasize is really looking for the evidence if these herbal medicines work. So I'll be talking about some common signs and symptoms wherein we have found good evidence to recommend this to all of you, and also treatment of selected common infections. And many of this evidence will be in a book that we will be launching in the near future, probably in the second quarter of the year. And since the title is Adjunct or Junk, the last part of the session will be talking about how to recognize scams. So there has been some confusion on what traditional or complementary or alternative medicine is all about. Well, actually, the definition depends on who is talking. So if you're talking about the United States, let's say here from the National Center for Complementary Integrative Health, for them, complementary medicine is, if it is not part of mainstream practice, and that means Western medicine, and it is used together with conventional medicine. An alternative if a non-mainstream practice is used in place of conventional medicine. But from our point of view, wherein we do have traditional practices, traditional medicine is defined as the sum of total knowledge, skills, practices on healthcare other than those embodied in biomedicine used in the prevention, diagnosis, and elimination of physical or mental disorder. But mind you, in the Institute of Herbal Medicine, we are trying to make herbal medicines part of mainstream medicine by providing the evidence so that it would be at par as conventional medicine. Okay. Now let's talk about some definitions from the FDA. I wanted to put this in because when you look at the product, no, what went into the registration of the product to label it as such? So you know what the evidence behind, no, the registration of the product, because the term FDA registered is so abused. No? Just because you say it's FDA registered, that doesn't mean it's a drug. And it doesn't mean all the evidence is there, okay? So, there are three types of products wherein herbal products may be classified into based on the Philippine FDA definitions. The first is the traditionally used herbal product, okay? So, these are preparations from plant materials whose claimed application is based only on experience of long usage. So basta ginamit na for 5 decades or more, and you have documentation of such, it can be registered as a traditional used herbal product. But I have a problem with this. My problem is that in the FDA, they consider this a drug. A drug? Yes, is it a drug? When your only evidence is that it has been used for 5 years. So medyo, just keep that in mind. And the only documentation that they need is documentation of prolonged and permanent uneventful use of herbal products. So there is no evidence of efficacy necessary. Okay? So what you have to look for is this is a label of a traditionally used herbal product, the THPR number. So pag THPR number so and so and so, it is a traditionally used herbal product. And they're only allowed to put what the folkloric use or the claimed application is. Okay? Okay, so yun yung traditional used herbal product. The problem for me is that since they considered it a drug, they are allowed to make claims. Okay. Okay, so let's go to another one, herbal supplements. Okay, so these are over-the-counter supplements. Evidence for quality is necessary, but no evidence for efficacy is also required. They are considered food. No, they're not considered drugs. So herbal supplements is not under Dr. Benjico, but under the food part of the FDA. Okay. So what do you look for? The FR number. Okay? Pag FR number, food supplement. At kailangan ilagay ito. Mahalagang paalala, ang so and so ay hindi gamot at hindi dapat gamiting panggamot sa anumang uri ng sakit. Doon sa ibang commercial, ang bilis, ito ay ganon nila sinasabi. Okay. And the last is herbal medicine, wherein this is a finished labeled medicinal product where it contains active ingredients of plants, so and so, and they shall have specific therapeutic claims and shall be intended for use in diagnosis, alleviation, cure, and so and so. No? So what evidence does the FDA ask for? You need both preclinical evidence of pharmacologic activity as well as safety, as well as human evidence from clinical trials in humans that these medicines actually work. So phase 1, phase 2, and phase 3 clinical trials. Yun ang herbal medicine. So ang hanapin nyo na ngayon ay HMR number. Okay? Pag HMR number, then this is an herbal medicine that is registered. And the label is very similar to any synthetic drug, the formulation, the indications, dosage, precautions, side effects, and contraindications. Okay. So what are some myths about herbal medicine? Basta ilalagay nila sa kanilang ads, no side effects. Imposible yata yon. Lahat ng gamot, no, merong side effects. So even porke natural, sabihin nila, ay safe. Hindi po totoo yun. Ang dami naman toxic na halaman. Hindi po ba? Ang digoxin ay galing sa halaman. Ang opium ay galing din po sa halaman. Ang dami pong toxic na halaman. And just because they are herbal products, they are safe, and that they have no drug interactions. Marami pong drug interactions, no? Herbal medicines. And just because you've used it for a long time, it means it is efficacious. Still not true. Ang dami namin tinest, no, na it's been used for 50 years, 70 years, 100 years. But when we do the actual preclinical and clinical research, then it doesn't pan out. But still, no, we believe that we will find herbal medicines which will be useful, no, especially for infectious disease. Many of our modern medicines we are using now are actually plant-derived. They got the molecules from plants. Did you know that oseltamivir was from star anise, your Illicium verum, no? And you know that we use this to treat and prevent your influenza A and B. No, I have a funny story about my mother because she had flu-like symptoms and, of course, the dutiful infectious disease daughter, Mami, baka kailangan mo ng oseltamivir. Okay, inom naman si dutiful mother. And after 2 days, tawag sa akin uli, anak, ayaw ko na yung gamot mo. Bakit? Namaga yung aking tongue at namaga yung kanyang lips. No? So she had an adverse drug reaction, allergy. Okay. And then, okay, sige, tigil na natin. Gumaling naman siya sa awa ng Diyos kahit wala yung oseltamivir. And years later, when I was researching this, ay, galing palang star anise yung oseltamivir. Matagal nang allergic ang nanay ko sa star anise. Kaya pala. Okay, others, artemisinin. Our first-line drug from malaria is from the Xinghao derivatives. And our old quinine that we use for malaria, for severe malaria, comes from the cinchona bark. And they had to synthesize this. Bakit? Mauubos lahat ng cinchona bark sa Amazon, no? Kasi once you take the bark, you kill the plant. No? Which is why we usually research on leaves. Pag leaves, pag tinagal mo yung leaves, hindi mo mapapatay yung plant. Pero pag bark, stem, and roots, yon, mamamatay syempre yung plant. Hindi siya commercially viable. And there are other modern medicines which are from plants. Your metformin, your vincristine, your aspirin, okay, and your atropine. It's from your belladonna. Ibig sabihin ng belladonna, beautiful girl. So bakit tinawag na belladonna? Pag nilagay mo yung atropine, your pupils enlarge. Di ba? Kaya nga tayo nag-eyeliner para lumaki yung mata. Yon, beautiful girl. Some benefits which I appreciate in herbal medicine, which we do not see in synthetic medicine, is synergism. No? Let's talk about our Artemisiana, which is where we derived your artemisinin. If you use the fresh extracts, gram for gram, it is 6 to 18 times more efficacious than the pure synthesized artemisinin. Bakit ganon? Because there are other compounds in the herb which may not be have no antimalarial activity, but actually potentiate the activity of artemisinin. No? So these are your artemethin, casticin, etc., etc. No? So there is some synergy that goes on. Sorry. Okay, so this is what we're doing in the Institute of Herbal Medicine. No? From start to finish, this is our version of reverse pharmacology. No? So we look into the ethnopharmacology. Yes, ang daming clues from our arbolarios, from our traditional healers, of what we could use as medicines for in herbal medicine. But we have to validate, no, these uses. So the validation is initially through preclinical researches, looking into the pharmacologic activity of those particular plant, but we also have to look into the safety no, of those plants, which include toxicity, mutagenicity, clastogenicity, etc., etc. At the same time, we have a pharmaceutical unit, a formulation unit, wherein they are able to process the plants and turn them into modern formulations, like your tablets, capsules, ointments, etc. And they also do the quality control research. And we have another unit, the agricultural unit, and they are in UP Los Baños. And their research is to see how to best to grow the plants, especially if it is for commercialization, no? How to best cultivate it, propagate, harvest, etc., etc. If it passes here, and yes, indeed, it looks like it has good clinical, good pharmacologic activity for a specific indication, then that's the only time we go into human trials, no? Phase 1, Phase 2, Phase 3, looking in both the safety and efficacy of the herbal medicine in humans. And later, of course, we'll patent this and offer it to the pharmaceutical industry for licensing to be commercialized for the population to use. So our job is to develop safe, efficacious, and low-cost quality medicinal plant products derived from herbs. And an offshoot of this is also to give jobs to our Filipino farmers, at the same time promote self-reliance of the Philippine pharmaceutical industry so that we don't have to import all these ingredients from other countries. Now, not all herbal preparations and formulations are created equal, no? So, naririnig nyo yung mga iba't ibang produkto. Some will say, I'm so-and-so tablet. Are you the same as the same plant? Not necessarily, no? For each preparation, they have to prove their own efficacy and safety. And even from a tablet to a capsule, magkaiba yan. Pwedeng iba yung kinetics nun, pwedeng iba yung absorption, no? So the potency or pharmacologic activity would differ between products if they use different plant parts, no? Sasabihin lang nila, ampalaya tablet. Ano ba ginamit doon? Fruit ba? Leaf ba? At anong variety nung ampalaya? Ang dami-daming variety. And we've seen, no, for, let's say, diabetes, there is a specific ampalaya variety which will best lower your blood sugar, no? So also the type of extract, baka naman aqueous, ethanolic, ano bang ginamit yung extract dyan? And even how the plant was cultivated, where it was cultivated, may differ the potency of the plant material. That's why they're also in our agri unit, ano bang type of soil niyan, amount of water, sunlight, fertilizer, blah, 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 to get the best out of your plant. Okay, so I'll be presenting some common signs and symptoms associated with infectious diseases, no? And what I'll be showing will have at least randomized some of them will have randomized clinical trials, some of them may be just in vitro, but I'll be specifying as such, okay? And for some, treatment of infectious diseases where we have some good evidence. Okay. So diarrhea, no, very common abdominal pain with diarrhea. Okay, a very good plant is your Chaang Gubat or your Carmona retusa. No? So the NERPROM, which is part of the IHM, has gone and done randomized controlled trials, phase 1 to 3, and we've seen that it's safe and effective in gastrointestinal colic, okay, and even severe biliary colic. If you have a biliary stone and it's causing pain, it is also good for that, no? So it was equivalent to dicycloverine, and there was pain relief within 30 minutes until to 1.5 hours. And they've seen some of the contents which has produced this analgesic and anti-diarrheal effect. So you could also use the plant parts themselves, and this is how you could do this. No? So this will be on the side, and mostly these are decoctions. No? So meaning using either dried or fresh leaves, depending on how old your patient is. Okay? And after na, kumabasa, boil for 15 minutes, okay, 2 glasses, and then you reduce it to 1 glass, okay, and drink 1 part every 2 to 3 hours. Huwag naman yung kumukulo yung inumin, no? Cool and strain. Okay. Other herbs that have shown good evidence for diarrhea is also your guava leaves, no? Some RCTs in Mexico and Cuba have shown good studies for this. There is actually a commercial formulation in Cuba for this. And they've shown that quercetin had morphine-like inhibition of your acetylcholine in the ileum. Okay, so again, making a decoction and using these amounts whether it is dried or fresh. Also your Kayamito, but I have not seen any RCTs yet on this. I've seen only in vitro activity and ex vivo, meaning isolated tissue preparations which showed good activity. Okay. So this is what your Chaang Gubat looks like. No? Parang tea leaves. It's called Philippine tea. Kaya nga Chaang Gubat or Fukian tea. Meron din yan sa China. I'm sure you know what guava looks like. Leaves ang pinag-usapan dito. And the Kaimito leaves. Your favorite star apple yan. Okay. Okay. For cough, no, the NERPROM has done phase 1 to 3 randomized clinical trials for adults and children for cough of non-bacterial origin. No? And they've isolated some active components in Lagundi, a bronchodilator and an antihistamine. Okay, and they've seen also anti-inflammatory activity in some iridoids in your Lagundi. Okay, so this is already commercially available. I'm sure you've heard of this. But to use it in the commercial preparation, again, you could use a decoction using both dried or fresh leaves. It's already commercially available. I'm sure you've heard of this. But to use it in the commercial preparation, again, you could use a decoction using both dried or fresh leaves. 16 minutes. So here it is. Hindi ito cannabis. Okay? Lagundi po ito. So, let's go to some common bacterial or otherwise infectious diseases wherein we've seen some good proof of herbal medicines. Okay, so again, actually this is my favorite kasi I've been studying guava since I was a medical student, no? So I've really tried to research into this. In vitro, in vivo, very good antibacterial activity, especially for gram-positive and common skin pathogens, no? So there have been RCTs on creams and ointments, and with good results. And we are to start our clinical trials on our own formulation. Okay. Pero madali, I'm sure you've heard of this. Siyempre, ginagamit pang tuli, okay, after giving birth. So you pero wag niyong pangunguyain. Di ba yun ang pinapagawa? Pinapanguya dun sa tinutuli para siguro to distract them from the pain. Pero syempre, sa dami ng ating, hindi naman sterile yung mouth natin, di ba? So, wag na lang ganon. So, just pound enough fresh material and apply as a poultice over the abscess or the boil. Okay. Or you could use it also as a wash, no, after making a decoction. Gumamela, actually there are a lot of plants where they've seen antibacterial activity, and one of them is gumamela. Okay, but I've only seen in vitro data on this, but no clinical trials. Flower buds ang ginagamit dito. Okay, let's go to some other types of infections. Your fungal skin infections or your tinea vesicolor. Okay, so your Acapulco, your Cassia, or Sena alata. And they've seen, there's so much in vitro data on this, on its antifungal activity, okay, for fungal skin pathogens. They've also isolated some components, your chrysophanol, anthracones, etc. And the NIRPROM has already done phase 1 to 3 clinical trials, comparing it, matagal na to, sa 90s pa to, sodium thiosulfate for tinea versicolor, and they were comparable in terms of mycological cure, disappearance of scaling, and erythema. Another group did also a clinical trial versus ketoconazole, and the cure rate was more than 91%, okay, and it was comparable to ketoconazole, no? So, there is a formulation, but it's not yet commercially available. But if you want to use this in the community, you can. Again, just pound enough fresh leaves and express the juice and apply it to the area twice a day for 2 to 4 weeks. Another very good plant, your bawang cloves for fungal skin infections. And they've actually isolated the adjuin, a main antifungal, which is an inhibitor of phospholipid biosynthesis. It was seen to be good against Candida and Aspergillus. There are a few RCTs on a garlic cream, and it seemed to be comparable to your terbinafine. So the cloves itself, you could pound and express the juice and apply it to the skin twice a day. Siyempre, ang drawback lang nun, amoy bawang tayo. Pero kung maliit lang naman yung area, baka okay lang. Okay, so ito yung itsura ng Acapulco. It's also called the candle bush. Okay. Maganda siya actually. Pero leaves ang ginagamit. Siyempre, alam niyo naman kung ano yung itsura ng bawang, I'm sure. For helminth infections, okay, I'm sure you've heard this already, the ipil-ipil seeds, and they've shown that it contains cysteine proteases, which damage the cuticle of the nematodes. It also contains protease inhibitors, okay, which inhibit some necessary proteins for the formation of the cuticles. We already embarked on a phase 1 trial for our preparation, and we'll be embarking, in the next 2 years. Ipil-ipil, hindi pili. In the next few years, we'll be completing the phase 2 and 3 trials, no? But you could use this in the community yourselves, use the powdered seeds. The seeds, pound them, powder them, no? And this is the amount you need. And you can also mix it with condensed milk. Medyo mapait yata siya. Another is nyug-nyugan, although this is less commonly seen than your ipil-ipil. There are a few RCTs, hindi nyug-nyugan. Okay, RCTs on the kernels for ascariasis. The first one was also for ascariasis, enterobius, okay, your ipil-ipil. So you could eat the kernels 2 hours after supper, but only eat the specified number, or else there are adverse effects. You'll have non-stop hiccups if you eat too much of your nyug-nyugan. Okay, so ito yung ipil-ipil. Okay, so yun yung kukunin na seeds. At ito yung yung nyug-nyugan. Kakawati, narinig nyo na yon, yung Gliricidia sepium. Ano yung common name nito? Ha? Kakawati. Hindi, meron pang isa eh. Hindi na ako titingin sa'yo. There have been some RCTs on the ointment versus sulfur, and it was very good for scabies. Okay? Sorry, hindi to. So just apply, you pound the leaves and you express the juice. Okay? And put it on twice a day also. Sorry, there's no near prompt formulation. That's wrong. Okay. Another is your makabuhay, no? Your Tinospora rumpi. Okay? And it showed good activity versus scabies versus permethrin. They were comparable in terms of decreasing the pruritus, erythema, and presence of the papules, vesicles, as well as the excoriation. Okay? So after bathing, express the juice by pounding enough fresh leaves and apply it after bathing twice a day for 3 consecutive days for 2 weeks. This is the last one. Okay. So yun yung kakawati. At ito yung makabuhay. Okay. So, of course, we have a long way to go for herbal medicine. We'll still be looking at the literature, doing the research, etc., etc. And hopefully, in 5 to 10 years' time, we will have more products for you. So I want to talk about health fraud scams. Obviously, we want to shy away from these scams. They waste our money, but they can also be dangerous. They can cause serious injury, death, delay potentially life-saving diagnosis, and starting medication that actually works, or they may contain hidden ingredients that can be harmful. Some have heavy metals, yung isa, melanin, etc., etc., no, from these products. And they know who are the vulnerable patients. No? They have claims related to patients who have cancer, diabetes, HIV, no? And these are the people who are sometimes really, especially patients with cancer and are terminally ill and are very desperate to look for treatments for their illness. There are also a lot of arthritis remedies fraud, weight loss, anti-aging, memory loss, and enhancing sexual performance. So I got this from the US FDA website. 6 tip-offs to rip-offs. Okay, so there are 6. The first is, one product does it all and claims to cure a wide range of diseases. Kung totoo lahat yan, di na dapat tayo mamamatay. No, we will live forever. It claims to do everything. So if that were true, itapon na natin lahat ng synthetic at ibang gamot. Personal testimonials. Yan ang talagang one tip-off. It cured my diabetes, or my tumors are gone. No? Madaling imbentohin yon. Or this one for Alzheimer's disease. My husband has Alzheimer's. He began eating 1 teaspoon of so-and-so. In 22 days, he mowed the grass, cleaned out the garage, and so-and-so. But you know that Alzheimer's waxes and wanes, no? There are times when they are coherent, but there are times they're not, no? So, is it really due to the drug? So, personal testimonials can be completely made up or untrue. It is the weakest form of scientific validity. And benefits may be due to the remission in disease. Also, benefits may be due to earlier or concurrent use of approved medical treatment. I took so-and-so kasama ng aking gamot. Sounds familiar? Rather than the use of fraudulent product. So the best evidence is really still your randomized controlled clinical trials. Quick fixes, instant cures, lose pound in 30 days. Nako, kung totoo yan, binili ko na lahat yan. Cures diabetes in minutes. It can kill cancer 1,000 times stronger than chemotherapy. Baka in vitro lang. Kaso pag ininom mo na, hindi na nakakaabot dun sa cancer cells. All natural. Okay, just because it's natural, it's not equivalent to safe. There are lots of poisonous plants, mushrooms, okay? And the US FDA has found numerous products which are all natural but are contaminated or have high doses of prescription drugs. They saw a lot of products which had steroids in them, which had Viagra in them, no? And pretending to be natural. Having a tagline like, miracle cure, new discovery, scientific breakthrough, secret ingredient. If it's so good, why is it secret? If it were a true breakthrough, it would be widely reported on media and prescribed by health professionals, and not on print ads, pop-up ads, okay, on the internet or infomercials. It's so hard to regulate kasi on the internet, no? So these are the favorite taglines. Natural cure, no risk money back guarantee, no side effects, quick and painless cure. Also having conspiracy theories. Ayan, madami yan sa ads eh. Your doctor doesn't want you to know about this so-and-so. Di ba? Mayroon ganon. The pharmaceutical industry and the government are working together to hide information about a miracle cure. These are mostly untrue and unfounded and distract the consumer from common sense questions about the so-called miracle cure. Okay, so huwag kayong bibili ng Bogusil, Fraudulence, Pseudomed, or Exagerol. Okay, so that's last about the frauds. Just a little pick-me-up for those who are involved in herbal medicine. Did you know that the Nobel Prize in Medicine in 2015 was won by Yu Yu Tu? And what did Yu Yu Tu discover? From an ancient Chinese herbal remedy led to the isolation of your artemisinin. Okay? Of course, they shared the prize with those who discovered ivermectin. Okay, so this is Yu Yu Tu. Okay, I'm not joking. Her name is Yu Yu Tu. And created a new anti-malarial based on traditional herbal medicine. So my take-home messages, 1 minute. Herbal medicines have been proven to be safe and effective, but you have to check the evidence. In vitro and in vivo data is not enough. Randomized clinical trials are still the best evidence, but scams abound. So watch out for the tip-offs. Thank you very much.